guys, thanks for stopping by. So I have today a juice box tutorial. I know I am always looking for different ways to send my happy mail, or like maybe unconventional ways to send your happy mail, or just like options. And being in swaps, you want to kind of change it up. You don't want to always be sending the same thing. So I was thinking, because I am hosting a picnic basket swap, that I could make a juice box to go inside of the picnic basket and send like maybe my cabochons or something inside of this juice box. And so this is my initial prototype, well, like 2.0, and I had used Velcro to close the sides right here. The bottom is actually closed, like fully closed. I glued it down with hot glue right here. I don't know if you can tell, but I glued it down, and this side does not open. But this side, I wanted it to be able to be opened and reused, so I tried to do Velcro. This tutorial, I am actually going to seal the top just by adding a tiny bit of hot glue on these tabs, because it doesn't really stay down. Like it looks almost like it's not even closed, see? And I feel like there is a danger that it will do that in transit. So I don't really like that. And it doesn't seem secure to me. It doesn't look good. So in this tutorial, we are not going to use the Velcro, because I only have some cheap Velcro from Dollar Tree, and maybe a higher quality Velcro would work better. But we are going to glue the version that we're going to make right now. It's going to look very similar to this. You're going to need some pattern paper and some regular cardstock paper. This is just 65 pound from Michael's or something. And then I'm using just a regular pattern paper. This is a random paper that I had. Anyways, so we're going to get to it. I'm going to set this to the side over here. And you're going to need one paper that is 5 by 7. And that's just a plain colored cardstock. You could even do white cardstock. I just happen to want to do it in pink, so I'm going to do that. And then one pattern cardstock. And this is a great way to use a single-sided paper, because it's going to be glued down. So I'm going to start with what would be the body of the box, and that's this. And the side that is 5 inches, this is like your box like this. And so what we'll need is you'll want to score at 3/4 on both sides. So we'll score at 3/4 here. We'll flip it over and we'll score again at 3/4 of an inch on this side. And then we're going to turn it this direction on the 7-inch side, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 2.5, 4.5, 5.5, and 6.5. Okay, and then at this time, I would not score it yet, just so that you can make sure that your papers match perfectly. So on the second paper needs to be 3.25 inch by 7 inches. And you're going to score it the same as your other piece. On the 7-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 2.5, 4.5, 5.5, and 6.5. Okay, and then we are going to line this up with the score marks running this way on the solid cardstock. And I am going to add just a little bit of glue. This bottle is about to run out, so
Mom!
hold on.
One clip, Mom.
Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully my glue has not dried all the way.
Oh my God!
Okay, so we're just gonna make sure. It doesn't really matter what direction right now because you can make one side the top or bottom if your paper is directional. And so I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch or so. Okay. And then I don't know where my other score tool went. I just had it, but it's buried under my mess at the moment. I have been prepping all day for something I have to do tomorrow. But if you notice, the score marks are going to line up perfectly like this. And like I said, if your paper is directional, right now it doesn't really matter because you can choose whichever side to be the top or to be the bottom because they're even measurements. So I'm probably going to pick this way because the 25-cent and the ticket to ride is this way. And okay, so then the next step, I'm just allowing this to dry a little bit, is that you're going to crease everything. And I'm going to start on these inside lines so that by the time you get to the outside lines, if there's any wiggle room needed, it will just come, it will pull this top paper in and it will be fine. It will not cause any kind of problems, coverage, or anything like that because this part is in the seam of the juice box. And you'll understand what I mean in just a second, but I'm just creasing it like this with my fingers. I'm not using my bone folder because potentially with it having the two layers, maybe like it could crack or something. And since it's a juice box, it doesn't matter that the corners be fully like crisp. They don't have to be very crisp corners. And what we're going to do is I'm going to line up this line with this line here. And so there will be a 1/2 inch overlap, causing there to be a 1-inch seam on the back of your juice box. And it'll be like very nice and sturdy. Even though we are doing a tutorial, I am going to use wet glue because that's what I like, and it makes it very nice and secure, I think. And so that's what we're gonna go with. Oh, why did I do that? Okay. Only do it on one side, and then the other side, you'll need to put it on the front side. The side that is going underneath, it needs to be right here. Okay, so that's better, I guess. And so what I do is I just line up one side and then I quickly go to the other side and make sure that side is also lined up before it dries. So that was quick enough that it didn't dry on me. For this reason also, I would recommend a wet glue because you have more time to position, and it's a little bit more forgiving if you have to reposition. And then just, you know, slide your fingers back and forth along that seam on both sides of the score line so that you can make sure it's really stuck. This is like the spine of your juice box, so you want to make sure it's nice and stuck, and that the next sides are going to be supported. Okay, so this next part I am anticipating might be a little bit hard to see on camera. So we are going to push this side along this seam here, like this. And then I am going to essentially line up this line with this crease here. So I'm going to fold this like so, and I'm going to line it up with this part in here. So make sure that that line is lined up with the crease that's here, and then pinch right here near the corner, and then keep pinching all the way up, right? And then you're going to do the same thing on this side. See, this one is already leaning in because of the other side, so you're just going to kind of work this line down, pushing this part down until it's lined up in here. And then you're going to do the same thing and pinch just right here on the corner, and then all the way up. And then open it back up. Don't worry too much if it, you know, creased in there or whatever, because it will fold just fine in a second. So I'm going to pull that back up, and then I'm going to repeat the same step on this side. So I'm going to push this down, and if you want to make sure that that corner stays popped out, just, you know, kind of do that. And then push this so that that line lines up with your inside crease, so like just like so. And again, you're going to pinch right here, making sure that that line is hitting this crease right here, see? And then you're going to just pinch, 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 pinch all the way up. And then same thing on this side. Okay, so right here we want to worry about this corner, and I'm just going to stick my nail kind of in there, right, to make sure that my corner stays where it should be. And then I've lined that up, so I'm going to pinch here and then just follow it all the way up, right? Okay, so now you're going to leave that one. Okay, I don't know why, but I have this preference for the last fold to be towards the back. So turn it towards the back side and push this one back down. It should cooperate pretty well because you've already creased it really well. And so you're just going to, again, push that back down where, whoop, I don't know what happened here. I just messed it up from what it was. So, okay. Except for when I'm teaching you, then it's not going to cooperate. But it should just cooperate because you already creased it and everything. So I'm going to do the back side first, and then I'm going to return to the front side, and this time you can kind of pull these sides here. See, I'm pulling slightly on this side, and again push it down, but this time it's going to make these little ears, just like so, see? Because this is going over that part, and you'll have these two little triangles. Because we're on camera, I'm going to do the bottom with hot glue. And let's see if my hot glue reaches, but I'm just going to do right here line of glue. And then I'm going to push it down, pinch the ears, and then use something, I'm using a pen, and push down on that flap. Push down that 1/2 inch on the flap so that it really gets a good seal. See? So mine, I think it's alright. And then we are going to add just a tiny dot of glue. A tiny dot of glue right here. And if you want, you can add some towards the back so that when it oozes out, it won't get all the way out. But honestly, if you get a little bit of the glue out, you can just scrape it off, or you can just kind of leave it, because how many times have you gotten a juice box and you can see on the little folds a tiny bit of their glue oozing out? So that's what happens on real juice boxes, you know? So, in my opinion, it might make it look very authentic. And then you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. And don't put too much, just enough that it has a little bit of room to ooze in all directions. And just kind of pinch that. I'm holding all sides of this edge because I don't want the pressure that I'm putting on this flap to dent my box or bend my box. I just want it to stay like this. And I think that has been adhered. So that's where we're at. See, it's pretty good. Like, you can kind of see that little gap right here, but I'm not super worried about it. That's not going to affect your stuff. It's going to keep everything inside, you see. And then we are going to repeat the same thing on this end. So we are, again, I'm just going to do it so that you kind of get an idea, since I can't be there to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to push, and I kind of push on the corner because we need to line up this line right here all the way down to the other line, right? So we are at the other line. Okay, I want to keep this kind of square, so I will pinch right there in the corner, make sure that it's still there. So you pinch right here in the corner and then keep pinching all the way to the top, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm gonna push right here where the crease is and push it down, right? Push it down until your lines are matching up again. So trying to get a good angle of that. See your lines are matching up again. And right here in the corner where this purple nail is, or it might look blue on your screen, pinch and pinch, pinch, pinch all the way up. Okay? Alright, there you go. Perfect. And then we're going to flip the box over and do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to start on this side, and I'm actually pushing on where that seam is so that I know where the corner is. And I'm going to, oh, well, if we want to make life easy, we're going to open the other side, and then we're going to push this side all the way down. And I guess you could do it with it folded, but you will get more resistance because at that point you're working with like 130-pound cardstock, because this is, I think, 65-pound, maybe 60, so 120 to 130-pound cardstock. And I'm just going to do the same thing again on this side. Line up the corner crease to this line right here, and you're going to have that. Okay, and then I'll pull that up. I'm going to flip it over again, and I'm going to push this down until my crease is where I had creased it, and until this side is where I had creased it. And then I'm going to flip it, fold this back down, and then pinch this little ear right here, so that this is flat and this is flat. And you can kind of just like pull it like that and make sure that your creases are where you want them. Okay, because like I said, I want my recipient to be able to open this, and if they so want to, potentially reuse the box as long as they're not super rough with it. And the contents of this are not going to fall out of here unless you're putting maybe like glitter or something in it, which in that case I would say you're probably just going to have to put glue on there or something, because otherwise it's going to come out. But I'm intending to probably put cabochons in here, so nothing is getting out of that, right? And so now we're going to do how we did on the last, on the bottom side, I mean. I lost my words for a second. And we're just going to add a little dot right here. And if you want, you can put a little bit into the crease. Okay? I know that this is going to ooze out to the sides and to the little point. So that's why I'm not adding more glue. I'm just doing that. And then I'm holding it firmly so that it'll stay. And it is hot glue, so it shouldn't take very long. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. Okay, and then I'm pushing on the sides so that everything keeps its shape as far as my box. Okay, and mine is directional, so it's kind of obvious what way you're supposed to open it. You know, maybe you'll embellish it so that they know what direction. And then what I was thinking is I'm going to buy some bendy straws and just cut it down so that both the bent part and the straight part are shorter to fit on the back of the box. And then you can get this, recycle the cellophane off of any packaging that you might have bought something, and just put it around your bendy straw, like bend the tip down, and then hold the two sides together, like cut it down so it's just the perfect size with just a little bit of a seam. Pinch that together and use a lighter to go on the edge, just slightly. Like, don't let it sit there because it will burn the plastic, but if you just do it quickly, it will melt the seams together. And then after you've done the seam, then you'll do the top and the bottom, and it will look like a little packet, I think. Or you could like use a fuse tool and do the same concept with the fuse tool plastic if you want. Anyways, so that's what I plan on doing. And then on this one, I just drew a little hole where you would stick the straw through on a juice box. I just drew it. I don't have a silver gel pen handy, but I would recommend, if you have a silver gel pen, do it with silver gel pen, because then it will look more like a real juice box. It will look like there's a little foil right there, but it's just silver gel pen. So I have drawn that circle right there, and that's where my straw goes. And then that's that. And then when your recipient gets it, maybe, like, I will put right here, lift to open, right? Lift to open, and I'll do the same thing on this side. Lift to open. And I did get a little bit right there on the side, so I'm just going to use my eraser. This is an erasable Frixion felt tip pen. But see, and then, whoops. And then that's that, and everything goes in your little juice box like this. Here, let me move my glue gun because I'm almost burning myself. But see? Isn't that cute? And fun? And it didn't take that long, even like with it being a tutorial. So, thank you for joining me for this tutorial. I hope it helps some of you out. If you decide to use it, I would certainly appreciate it if you tagged me to get a little bit of traffic over to my pages. So yeah, that is the juice box, and thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.